I'm Mary Rose Mitchell, aka Rose the Black Cat. I'm a music producer, say just an artist in general, and I'm starting this vlog because I want to document my creative process, and I want to show how my day-to-day life goes into finding inspiration for the music that I'll make and the things that I say and the way that I affect the world. You know, because being an artist is more than just the art form that you use, it's a way of life. And I think that my perspective is very unique and I would like to share it with others. So today, on this first episode, we are going to be going over this song idea that I have. So it's called Night Walker, and it's inspired by, I've been working a lot of late nights recently at my job, and it's just really messing with my brain. And it's not the first time that I've done late nights. I used to stay up a lot and make music really late into the night, and now it's it's a little different because it's not really voluntary, kind of. I mean, I work them because I'm a team player and they need people to work nights, not because I want to. So this song, it goes: I fall asleep when I see the sunlight. I fall asleep when I hear the train cry. I fall asleep when the sun begins to rise. And then it kind of builds up like that. So I'm imagining kind of the ideas that I have so far is like, I'm thinking it's like a drum-centric song. So there'd be like, I want to use this drum machine, which is my Akai Professional MPD 218. And I want to build it all around the drums, and then I also want like a bass under it, so it's like kind of matching along with the vocals. And then the drums, I have the idea where it's like, it kind of starts out slow, so it's like, and then the snare is like, and then it kind of builds, so it like repeats the same refrain, but then it gets a little faster, like, I fall asleep when I see the sunlight, and then it keeps building. It's like, I fall asleep when I see the sunlight. I fall asleep when I hear the train cry, right? And it just keeps building. So that's my idea. Okay, now to be frank, I'm frank now. I don't really use this drum pad a lot. So if you're watching this, please hold me to it in the comment section. In future vlogs, ask me, where's the drum machine if I don't use it? So yeah, we're gonna try using this. So how you set it up to interface with FL Studio is actually pretty simple. I didn't know when I first got it, so I looked up a tutorial. Basically, all you do is that you go into this and you click map notes for entire bank, and then you just go like this. And then that makes them all correspond with what's on there. So now if I hit the right here, it corresponds with that one. If I go over to, it's that one. Right, okay, so that's the theory. All right, so like I said, I don't use this a lot, so we're just gonna kind of fuck around for a bit. I fall asleep when I see the sunlight. I fall asleep when I hear the train cry. I fall asleep as the sun begins to rise. I fall asleep when... There's also a cool feature that you can do. I want to show you guys everything. Okay. It's called Note Repeat. Right here. And if you hold that down, what it does is that it repeats whatever you're playing. I fall asleep when I see the sunlight. I fall asleep when I hear the train cry. I fall asleep as the sun begins to rise. And if we set the tempo, it'll work better too. Let's see, okay, tap tempo. So it was I fall asleep when I see the sunlight. I fall asleep when I hear the train cry. I fall asleep when the sun begins to rise. Now the tempo. Okay, now. I fall asleep when I see the sunlight. I fall asleep when I hear the train cry. I fall asleep as the sun begins to rise. fall asleep when the sun begins to rise. I fall asleep when I think if it was a little faster, like even that's a little slow for just the basic. I fall asleep when I see the sunlight. I fall asleep when I see the sunlight. Okay. I want to use this more, but there's the temptation so bad to just like pre-program it. But I want to use this. This is the goal. I want to learn how to use this thing because it's been sitting here for a while and I've only ever touched it like a handful of times. Okay. Maybe I should start making some stuff and just see what happens. That's a good idea, right? Let's start recording. I don't know. Oh, that wasn't really on beat. Maybe it'd be better if I sang along with it. I fall asleep when I see the sunlight. I fall asleep as I hear the train cry. I fall asleep as the sun begins to rise. I fall asleep, ba-da-do-da-do-da. I fall asleep even when I don't try. Oh wait, I want to start writing. Oh wait, hold on. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Rule 1 of songwriting. Stay hydrated. British style. British. Okay, started getting an idea. Rule 2 of songwriting, much less important. Whenever you get an idea for a song, write it down. You will I have lost, in my experience, so many songs because I did not write them down. And maybe I would never even record them. Maybe, but I can't live on a maybe. At least write them down. Have them, okay. I fall asleep even when I don't try. I kind of want to switch up the refrain, so that's what I think this is. I fall asleep even when I don't try. I fall asleep even when I don't try. I fall asleep and I begin to cry. I fall asleep and I begin to... Wait, is that the same amount of syllables? I fall asleep even when I don't try. I fall asleep and I begin to cry. Yes, it's the same amount of syllables. Let me see. Oh, wait, so I fall asleep and as the sun begins to rise. So when does that modify it? Okay, so it starts out the same. I fall asleep when I see the sunlight. I fall asleep when I hear the train cry. I fall asleep as the sun begins to rise. Begins to rise, where it breaks the melody. I fall asleep when I see the sunlight. I fall asleep as the sun begins to... I fall asleep as the sun begins to rise. So it's an extra syllable in it. And then the rise is like really long because rise, it goes on for like 2 or 3 bars. All I want is to see the sun. What if it was a little different? So instead of being an extra syllable, it was one less syllable. I fall asleep. Oh, all I want is to see the sun rise. So instead of just having the rise, the sun. All I want is to see the sun rise. All I want is to see the sun rise. So it's a bit more yearning than the first one. The first one's like it's an acceptance, right? Because it's like I fall asleep when I see the sunlight. I fall asleep when I hear the train cry. I fall asleep as the sun begins to rise. I was thinking of a different version too, where it was like I fall asleep as the world begins to turn, which is like the world's like basically the new day is starting, and here I am falling asleep, and that's how I've trained myself to be, is to fall asleep when the new day begins. Let me keep track of time. Okay. All I want is to see the sun rise. All I want is... This one's still an acceptance of the predicament, but at the same time, it's also a yearning and a desire to live differently. All I want is to see the sun. Yep. That's all I want. Okay. Okay. I used to do live streams. This is so much better. I can just edit out. Okay. Alright, so that's kind of a modification of the refrain. Are there any other lyrics? I want to write a verse. Let's do that. I have to work at 8. Again, based on true story. And 8 p.m. And I want to write a verse. I don't want to force it. Let me get a better camera angle. I'll get a little more laid back. But I want to I want a verse. So it's not the same exact melody, but it's like a different version of that melody. Whereas this one's like the same melody, but with different words. Same rhymes though, basically. Sunrise. The only thing that's different is try. I like how this one's more about me too, where like the first one is less personal. It's like, I fall asleep when I see the sunlight. The sunlight, the train cry. Oh. As the sun rises, as the sun begins to rise. And then this one's like, even when I don't try, I begin to cry. All I want. It's more like personal. Whereas the first one, I feel like more people could relate to. Like any people, there's a lot of people who like staying up late. This song is not about that, which is why we have this verse. It's like people could relate, not a verse, but people could relate to the first refrain, even if you just like staying up late. You know, like I fall asleep when I see the sunlight. I fall asleep when I hear the train cry. I fall asleep when as the sun begins to rise. But then this one's more personal, where it's like, this is not the life that I want. I want something different, because I am a morning person. Like I like being up early. I want to wake up before the sun even rises so I can watch it rise. So the refrain is all about, or the chorus is all about how I fall asleep when the new day begins. So then I want the verse is to be about what wakes me up and how I wake up at the nighttime. So let's see, what wakes me up during the night? Caffeine, sugar, people, music, anything else? Anything? No? Alright then. I think that's about it. Okay. So caffeine, sugar, people, music. You know, I've had this idea for a long time. I've never been able to do it justice, but a song dedicated to sugar and caffeine, like the combo, like an energy drink, like a sweet coffee. I've never been able to do that song justice. I don't know why. I've tried making it multiple times. It would be called like sugar/caffeine. That's the idea for the song I've had for like years. I've never been able to do it justice. At least I haven't yet. Maybe it's because there's like no real lesson or moral to the song. It's just about something, which I used to make a lot of songs about that, which were just like about things. Like I know on my first EP, like just describing experiences, but without any real like story to it, which is like, why would you make a song without a story? You know what I mean? But that's why I used to make a lot of instrumentals. Stuff like, I know on my first EP, Black Cat, I had songs like I'm Cold, literally just about being cold, the experience of being cold. It's a cool song, but that's only because of the production. It's not like an interesting song. It's not like, oh, you're like, oh, wow. It doesn't blow your mind, you know, it's just about being cold. And then also like, there's a song about like smoking weed. That one is a little more interesting because it kind of goes into like the darker side, because I'm a recovering addict, so it's not something that I do anymore. And then that song kind of went into like the darker side of it, of especially like getting like seriously high, like dangerously high. Kind of went into that, like there's a moment on the song where, you know, I kind of want to pull it up actually. soundcloud.com/rosetheblackcat. Check it out. But yeah, the whole song is kind of like vibey. It's got a bong on it. And this part right here where it kind of calms down a little bit, so yeah, so it's like, it's interesting because it starts out, it's all like this kind of vibey, fun part, you know, it's very chill, which is like what you think of weed as, right? But then it goes into this part where it kind of breaks down a little bit, it gets a little quieter, it gets a little creepier, and then there's like that part where I'm mumbling and I'm like, burn, smoke, trees, wildfire, right? And it's all about, and then it goes into this like darker part, right, where that lead fun guitar kind of cuts out and all that's left is this like just like wailing wah guitar that's just kind of quiet in the background, and then there's that bong sound and just like those like slow drum beats with like the lighter flick, and it's just about kind of that shift is like that realization of like, what the fuck am I doing? What the fuck am I doing to myself? You know, I'm killing myself, I'm killing my brain very slowly. And yeah, so I think there is some value inside of these songs which just describe experiences. But at the same time, what I've been working on more recently, especially with my project 96, which is coming out on June 15th, which is actually my 1-year sobriety anniversary. I got sober for my first sober day was on June 15th, 2022. And so the project is releasing on June 15th, 2023. I like to release an album every year. That's been my schedule so far. And yeah, it's very lyrical and story driven, and it has all these strong ideas which are very memorable and unforgettable. Whereas a lot of the projects I made before that were just a lot of like instrumentals, kind of describing experiences, not a lot of moral or story. I would say my 2022 album, Full of Resentment, was getting there more, but it was mostly instrumental. But a lot of the instrumentals were a lot more meaningful to me, where it wasn't just like describing experiences. I had this song called Alive Tomorrow, which was inspired by my friend, and she self-harmed, and there was always this question that I asked myself, like, are you going to be alive tomorrow? You know, am I going to wake up and you're going to be there? Am I going to be able to see you? You know, are we going to be able to talk? And I never knew. So it was kind of like an interesting song. I still listen to it sometimes, but it just really went to that feeling of kind of like, just, it's weird. It's almost like a sense of wonder, not like a positive, go lucky, happy, joyful wonder, but like a wonder of just like, I really don't know shit. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You know, I don't know if you're going to be here. I don't know if the people I love are going to be here tomorrow. And, yeah, but it's just an instrumental song. So a lot of that meaning, if you're not me, is not there, you know, but that's why I love adding the lyrics. And that was a challenge that I gave myself because I've made so much instrumental music. I was challenging myself with 96 to create a project which was more lyrical, and that was something that I found kind of challenging. I like challenges, so it is fun, and it ended up being such a more meaningful project where I listen to it and it's like, it's kind of the only thing I listen to right now, because it's in this point where like I have this pre-release version that I'm sharing with some people, but the project is scheduled for release on June 15th. So it's like, it's basically the only thing I'm listening to, but sometimes it's like difficult to listen to. I'm like, I know I'm gonna listen to this project, but it's just like, I gotta brace myself for it, you know, because it's so powerful. And not just to me, you know, that's the beautiful part about adding the lyrics, is that I'm able to transfer this meaning to other people. Where like Full of Resentment can be difficult to listen to sometimes, but I feel like for someone else it'd just be like, what is really happening? I don't understand this, you know, but not in like an interesting, attention grabbing way, just like in a, I don't know, it's the thing, I guess. It sounds interesting. It's kind of really too many highs, not enough low end. But yeah, now I'm working on this new project, which is like, the working title is Gray, and it's all about the in-between in life. So, you know, we have these highs, right? And then we have these lows in our lives, but all this stuff in between, I feel like it's what really ties it together. And so this new project is dedicated to that in-between area of our lives. You know, like between hate and love, there's this in-between. You know, in between positivity and negativity, there's this in-between. And without that in-between, everything in life really has no meaning, you know? Because all of us have had to get through our hardest days, you know? And all of us have had to get through our easiest days, you know? But then getting through everything in between is what really gives life meaning, I feel like. You know? And that's something that I'm trying to really grasp with this project, is just how meaningful the gray is. Not the black or the white, the gray, and all the colors, you know, how meaningful that is. And just what keeps me going throughout my life. You know, the reason why I choose to get up every morning when I know it's probably just gonna be an in-between day, you know, and it's probably not gonna be the greatest day of my life. It's probably not gonna be the worst day of my life. It's just gonna be another day. And what a gift that is, you know, to have another day. That is just a day, just another one. You know, how amazing it is to have another day, you know, because one day we'll run out of days, you know, and then who knows what happens after that. But yeah, so I don't think I'm gonna finish this song in this vlog because I work at 8 and the song is not really coming to me, but I think this is a great opportunity to talk about the ideation of songs and the process of making them and what goes into making an album. So yeah, keep following me. This whole vlog is going to be about my creative process and how my day-to-day in-between life all inspires and informs my creative process. So stick around. Peace out. Love y'all.